To me, Anthem is the biggest blemish on BioWare's reputation. Love it or hate it, this game is a dumpster fire. And though BioWare was planning to and working on revamping it, I don't think that would have saved it.
So maybe this is good news in disguise then, because BioWare has officially announced that they will discontinue working on the Anthem overhaul that they had planned, releasing this statement on the official BioWare website. Friends, in the spirit of transparency and closure, we wanted to share that we've made the difficult decision to stop our new development work on Anthem, aka Anthem Next. We will, however, continue to keep the Anthem live service running as it exists today. Since Anthem's launch, the team has been working hard to continually improve the game, releasing multiple updates that brought with them a variety of improvements and introduced new content to play. Towards the end of 2019, we expanded on that effort and started working on a more fundamental restructure of the game. 2020 was a year unlike any other, and while we continue to make progress against all our game projects at BioWare, working from home during the pandemic has had an impact on our productivity, and not everything we had planned as a studio before COVID-19 can be accomplished without putting undue stress on our teams. I know this will be disappointing to the community of Anthem players who have been excited to see the improvements we've been working on. It's also disappointing for the team who were doing brilliant work. Game development is hard, decisions like these are not easy. Moving forward, we need to laser focus our efforts as a studio and strengthen the next Dragon Age and Mass Effect titles, while continuing to provide quality updates for Star Wars: The Old Republic. I guess this could be disappointing for people who care about Anthem, but that doesn't necessarily entail me. I'm making this video for another purpose. I want to talk about how it's a good thing that Anthem is being left behind. Firstly, it's very good that BioWare knows when to throw in the towel and look to the future, rather than attempt to rescue themselves from a mistake that they've already made. Anthem has been out for 2 years now, and the game is frankly dreadful. It was contentless nothing that wasn't at all like what was promised when it was announced. Now, it's not uncommon for games like this to somehow still have a following, but I think in the case of Anthem, it wasn't one that was necessarily sustainable enough to make a complete overhaul not a massive risk. Put it this way, an overhaul of the game wouldn't save it. A lot of people who were stung the first time around won't want to waste their time on this game anymore, regardless of what kinds of fixes and improvements were promised. Even if the fundamental restructure of the game lived up to the official announcement that got people excited for this game in the first place, a lot of people wouldn't even bother with it because, well, they're over it. I'm not saying it's impossible for an overhaul of Anthem to be lucrative, I'm just saying that it's not very likely. So it makes more sense for BioWare to cut their losses on this project and focus on the future. I guess other contributing factors like BioWare having other projects they want to be working on and the COVID-19 pandemic really make a project like this more of a risk than it already was initially. So I guess a project needed to be cut to save the others, and thankfully, they had Anthem about. As cool as it would have been to see the game that was initially promised as opposed to the game that was released, that's an unnecessary risk that could be somewhat detrimental to other big projects that BioWare are working on, such as Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Both are established franchises that already have quite a huge following, that with the right time, people and effort are almost certain to be successful. If you gave Anthem the right time, people and effort, then you'd likely get what could be considered to be a good game, but there'd be an aspect in luck as to whether or not it would be successful from there on out. I guess it's also just not healthy business practice to obsess over a mistake that you've made already, when that mistake is already in the past and you could leave it there and regain people's favour by making a good game. And while it's noble to try to make a good game out of a terrible one, for a lot of people that game will still be terrible because they don't have the time to go back and play it again to see if it's changed. I don't want to overcomplicate my points, so I'll simplify it. There is nothing in Anthem worth saving, especially if that's then to the detriment of BioWare and its employees. Whereas despite Anthem's failure, people still want to hear about Dragon Age. And then of course on top of that, you've got the Mass Effect remaster that's coming soon, as well as the next Mass Effect game that's already been teased somehow. I don't understand why, but there you go. I think it's fair to say, based on how much we know about BioWare's future projects, and while it isn't much, it's enough to think that maybe BioWare is thinking more about their future than about a past mistake like Anthem. And so maybe trying to save this game at all isn't necessarily a risk, it's just a waste of resources. And I think for a company that it's fair to say learned the hard way that goodwill does not grow on trees, the best option right now is to draw the focus back to franchises that people know and love in an attempt to earn that back. I'm sure there are about 5 people out there who love Anthem, and I'm sure that there are people out there who are a bit disappointed that they're not going to get their money's worth on that game. But I guess logically speaking, pulling the plug on Anthem Next actually makes sense,
and a lot of people suspected that it would happen anyway. I'd imagine the decision in the end of the day came down to EA, but I don't think where that decision came from really changes that much. In my opinion, ditching Anthem is the right move. BioWare has said that they're going to continue supporting the live service for Anthem, but I think it's pretty likely now that the promise of a better version of this game is gone, that what's left will turn into an effective ghost town. I don't know if it was anyway. I'd imagine not many people still play this game, but there's no real incentive for people to continue playing the game long term now, so I'd imagine this news may just finish off the player base for Anthem. Personally, I'm quite happy about this news because it means that BioWare is no longer restricted in making their new titles. I don't know what kind of quality those games will achieve, but whatever it turns out to be, surely to Christ, it can't be worse than Anthem. I guess the next thing coming up is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm not sure if it's possible for that to be fucked up, but we'll see. The truth is, you never know. Can BioWare and EA make up for the mistakes made in Anthem? Of course they can, by making and releasing good games going forward. But I guess whether or not that will happen remains to be seen. But I think it's time we wrap up this video before it becomes too long and I'm not saying anything useful to warrant its length. So, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be fantastic. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. I would really love to see what people think about this. Maybe the 3 people that actually like Anthem will crawl out of the woodwork and be angry. I don't know. I'm sorry. And with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point. But until next time, take care and goodbye.